You think you know Cross River because of Obudu Cattle Ranch? Think again. What if I told you that beyond those rolling hills lies a tapestry of ancient traditions, diverse languages, and resilient communities whose stories have been whispers in the wind for centuries? Prepare to have your understanding of this majestic region completely redefined. High in southeastern Nigeria, where the land rises suddenly from dense rainforest into cool, rolling mountains, lies a place many know by a single name, Obudu Cattle Ranch. But this story does not begin with a resort. It begins long before roads, before cable cars, before postcards. It begins in the Cross River Highlands. Stretching along Nigeria's border with Cameroon, these highlands form part of the ancient Sankola mountain range, standing over 1,500 meters above sea level. The air here is cooler, the mornings wrapped in mist, and the land fertile, dramatic, and alive has shaped the people who have called it home for centuries. This is Obanliku land. And these mountains remember everything. Long before colonial maps were drawn, communities settled these high elevations not by accident, but by wisdom. The highlands offered protection from invasion, rich volcanic soil for farming, and a rhythm of life tuned to the seasons of mist and rain. The people, Obanliku, Bashiv, Bet, Op, and neighboring groups developed societies rooted in kinship, land stewardship, and oral history. Here, history was not written. It was spoken, sung, and performed. Stories were passed beside evening fires. Lineage was traced through praise names. And the land itself became an archive. Language tells us who a people are, and the Cross River Highlands speak in many voices. Dozens of dialects echo through these mountains, part of the larger Benue-Congo linguistic family, each carrying unique expressions for nature, ancestry, and community. Some words exist only here, terms for specific winds, farming cycles, or spiritual states that have no direct translation elsewhere. To lose a language here is not just to lose words. It is to lose a way of seeing the world. And yet, despite centuries of external pressure, colonial rule, migration, modernization, these languages endure. They survive in songs sung during festivals, in proverbs spoken by elders, and in names given to children as living memory. The spiritual life of the highlands is deeply tied to the land. Before the arrival of Christianity and Islam, the people practiced belief systems that honored ancestral spirits, sacred forests, and natural forces. Mountains were not obstacles, they were guardians. Rivers were not resources, they were beings. Certain groves were protected, never cut. Certain hills were sacred, never climbed. These traditions weren't superstition, they were systems of environmental preservation, long before the word conservation existed. Even today, beneath modern religious practices, echoes of these beliefs remain quietly shaping respect for elders, land, and community balance. Then came the colonial era. In the mid-20th century, Scottish missionaries and colonial administrators arrived in Obudu, drawn by the climate that reminded them of home. Roads were carved into mountains. The cattle ranch was established. And slowly, the highlands entered global awareness. But while outsiders saw potential for tourism, the people continued living lives shaped by farming, hunting, craftsmanship, and ceremony. They adapted, but they did not disappear. Farming here is an act of resilience. Terraced fields of yams, maize, cocoyam, and vegetables cling to slopes that demand patience and skill. Every planting season is guided by inherited knowledge, when the mist lifts, when the soil breathes, when the ancestors are believed to be listening. Festivals mark the agricultural calendar, blending dance, masquerade, drumming, and costume into powerful communal expression. These are not performances for tourists, they are acts of remembrance. Each dance step recalls a migration. Each drumbeat echoes a historical moment. Each mask carries the authority of the past. What truly defines the Cross River Highlands is not the landscape alone, but the resilient spirit of its people. Despite geographic isolation, limited infrastructure, and economic challenges, these communities remain deeply rooted. Family ties are strong. Elders are respected as libraries of knowledge. Children grow up knowing where they come from even as they look toward the future. Here, progress is negotiated, not imposed. Mobile phones coexist with moonlit storytelling. Modern schools stand beside ancient footpaths. And tradition is not frozen, it evolves. Today, as travelers arrive seeking views and adventure, a deeper story waits beyond the ranch gates. It lives in the voices of elders who still remember pre-colonial boundaries. In the languages spoken at home, not written in books. In the quiet strength of communities who have learned to endure without losing themselves. The Cross River Highlands are not just a destination. They are a living archive of Nigerian history. A reminder that culture does not always shout. Sometimes, it whispers through mist-covered mountains. And if you listen closely, the land will tell you who its people are.